WNCW, you know that's Joni Mitchell. My name is Roland. I'm way down the hall in Studio B now, where live sessions are made possible by Sierra Nevada Brewing Company. Got a good one today. Jay Sanders is in the house. Hey, Jay.
Hey, Roland.
How's it going?
Doing great, man. I'm really happy to be here. Thanks so much for having us.
You're welcome. How many times have you played in this room, do you think, in different configurations?
We were talking about earlier. It's been a while, but I mean, over the years, probably a dozen times or so. Yeah.
Nice.
So it's nice to be back.
A little different sound today, though. You got a brand new record out.
Absolutely.
Evanescent. And a big show coming up tomorrow night up at, pronounce it for
The Iyer Prana Listening Room.
Iyer Prana Listening Room. I was making sure you knew that. So, big album release show.
Yeah,
congrats.
We're very excited about it. It's been a long time coming. We've been working on the song, on that record for years, and it feels good to finally release it to the world because we're all super proud of it. I had a lot of help and a lot of companions, helping me create this music that I've been writing for all these years. So I'm really grateful to have the opportunity to play for you guys today, and I had the opportunity to do the concert tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Real quick, who's in the band, and then we're going to get a song.
So today we have Alan Hall on drums, and Zach Page on bass, and Will Boyd on saxophone.
All right, so it's Jay Sanders playing live today. Your first song.
Yeah, we're going to play the lead-off track, the lead-off song from the record. This is a song I wrote actually for my wife, Kathy, and it's called Morningtide.
WNCW Live Music Today with Jay Sanders. That's great.
Thank you.
What's that one called?
That's called Morningtide.
Wow, what a beautiful melody, and just it's a gorgeous song.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I wrote it for my wife. She's an early riser, and she
Right.
really enjoys she spent a lot of time in Florida, so enjoys beach time. So
Yeah.
just kind of a morning-tide kind of thought.
So are you an early riser too?
Unfortunately, no.
I was gonna say, you're in the wrong business.
Yeah, we find a good balance, you know.
All right, so Jay Sanders is playing live with us today. That is Will Boyd tearing it up there on the soprano saxophone. Zach Page is on bass. Alan Hall's on drums. And Jay Sanders, who I think of as a bass player. Man, that's a weird-looking bass guitar you're playing today, Jay.
Well, I'm playing guitar, and it was actually my first instrument.
Is that right?
When I first started music school, I studied at Belmont University, and I also went to the jazz school at University of Tennessee in Knoxville for a couple years, and I did all of that as a guitar player.
Okay.
And it was, I don't want to date myself, but it was, somewhere around years ago. When I first met the Snake Oil Medicine Show guys, that's
Right.
when I made the switch over to playing bass. And then, of course, went on to spend 20-something years playing bass for Acoustic Syndicate, touring extensively and having a great time doing it. But I'm glad to be back to my roots. I've always really enjoyed playing guitar, and writing music is where my real passion is, composing and arranging. And what the show tomorrow night at Ayur Prana is actually a 9-piece band with a 5-piece horn section. And it's not, we've got one song that's kind of in the more traditional funky style, but a lot of it's through composed big harmonies, big almost big band sounding type of arrangements that I'm really excited to
Are you doing all the arranging yourself? How's there?
I worked with Justin Ray to do the original arrangements for the record. We did most of the songs, well, 2/3 of the songs on the record have full horn sections on them, but by full horn section, they were created by Justin Ray and Jacob Rodriguez in the studio. And then to recreate it live, we actually are getting together a 5-piece horn section.
Nice. It's got to be fun, you're playing your guitar and you've got some ideas, and then you throw it out to that huge horn section and the rhythm section.
Oh, I've had so much fun arranging for it and writing for it, And these guys are all just such exceptional players that I can any crazy idea I have, it's not off the table. They might tell me that I'm crazy after I've written it, but I've got all these just kind of oddball ideas, and they allow me they provide me a great palette in order to.
Did they ever go Jay, that was a dumb idea? Did you ever get?
The only time I ever got that was when I didn't put enough rests in for the trumpets, and then they looked at me like I was mean. Because it turns out they have to breathe.
They have to breathe, yeah.
But
what are you gonna do?
Keep writing.
So we're talking with Jay Sanders, and his brand new record is called Evanescent. I guess officially tomorrow is the CD release.
Tomorrow's the official release. It'll be out on all the streaming platforms, and it's available on the internet. You can find it. I'm at mindtonicmusic.com, and just give it a search, and it'll be available.
You said it's years in the making. Give us a quick background on the album. And
so I kind of, the way I like to say it is, just in case I only ever get to do one, I put all of my influences in this. When it comes to writing music and thinking about music, I'd like to think of myself like a storyteller, and I like my songs to actually have something to say something and have a place and go through changes and evolutions that kind of inspire ideas and creative visions. I have constant running cartoons in my head for a lot of my songs, and I've kind of always been like that. The oldest song is from, I wrote it in '94 in Boone when I was living on King Street on Hippie Hill, and that song is from my good friend Woozle Wynn. It's called Woozle's Blues, and it started a lot simpler than it ended up. As the years have gone by, we made it more sophisticated, and then Justin really turned it into an awesome big band sounding blues. And so that's the oldest, and then Morningtide actually being the newest one, the one we just played, because I wrote that recently for my wife.
So I read somewhere, some bio material, something listed your influences. This is what I've got: Sonny Sharrock, John McLaughlin, Bill Frisell, Dave Holland, Ornette Coleman, and John Hartford.
Yep.
Okay, I like the Hartford. How does Hartford fit with those guys? Cool.
So my favorite Hartford records are Morning Bugle and the trio records he did with Dave Holland and Vassar Clements.
Right.
And what I love, of course, I love all of the influence that John Hartford had on modern acoustic music. For all of my years playing in that genre and playing with Acoustic Syndicate and even with Snake Oil and some of the other work I did, the work of John Hartford is the driving force, because I just love people who push boundaries in really creative and exciting ways, and that is what John Hartford did.
Is he a true original, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. So I appreciate him not only for the fact that he pushed boundaries, but that he actually reached out into the jazz world and brought Dave Holland in.
Yeah.
And the way that he plays on Morning Bugle informed how I learned how to play bass within the bluegrass genre, because it had the swing lilts to it, and he also wasn't afraid to play thirds and fifths and sevenths and ninths and all the other notes in the bass voice within that genre, which I just find really refreshing coming from a listening jazz background.
And Dave Holland's the guy who would go and play like Appalachian music, or
Oh yeah, totally, absolutely.
Just always like that. Bill Frisell, another guy.
Absolutely. I saw Dave Holland play at Big Ears this year, and my favorite thing that he did, other than have Chris Davis on piano, who's one of my favorites these days, but he walked on the stage, he introduced the entire band, and then he said, okay, we're not going to stop. And then they just played for like 90 minutes straight. There were tunes, but they just worked their way in between them and improvised. And actually, we as a quartet, when we play live, we do that a lot, where we have song forms, but the song forms are nothing more than like, skeletal palettes upon which we can try on different paints and colors and all kinds of things like that. So we have a lot of fun with that.
So if you're wondering what that all looks like, you can see we're live streaming right now and check us out. And then tomorrow night at the
Ayur Prana.
I've got it written down somewhere. I can't find it. Ayur Prana listening room tomorrow night. What, 8 o'clock?
8, doors are at 7, shows at 8. Yeah.
Right.